Hello and welcome back to Block Game. Yeah, I'm on the battle bridge section of my D7 build, and I thought I would give you an update on what's going on with it here. This is a pretty well fleshed out bridge or battle bridge-ish thing, but it's too high, and when we look at the plans or the intention, the I guess the set design for the motion picture, Star Trek the Motion Picture, which all Klingon bridges are based off of. It's actually supposed to be down below us in this big bubble thing on the top of the Klingon D7 ship. So I wanted a smaller bridge that was like this, like you see in the Bird of Preys and stuff like that. So I put it up here because for reasons I recall the motion picture when they zoomed in to the Klingon ship, they zoomed into this section of the ship right here. You watch the movie, they kind of push into this. So I figured this is where the bridge is, but it's actually, according to their set design and stuff, it's actually down in here. So what I decided to do is take a idea from a fellow shipbuilder, CreeperBot, and make two bridges, maybe three bridges, maybe four bridges. Because why not? We can do it all. We have plenty of space. So anyways, you come down from there, come down into here, and this will be the captain's ready room. And he has his own private bathroom up. We gotta put a toilet in the floor. I forgot to do that. There's the Klingon's toilet. Okay. And you look down here and oh wow, what's that? Wow. Let's go find out. Let's go down here to the next deck. And come out into the deck itself here and walk forward. Oh, it's another bridge. Wow. And this is a much larger-ish bridge than the one above. So this will be the primary use bridge or combat bridge, whatever. I really don't know. I know that there's like a damage control bridge, which is actually lower, and then they have the battle bridge, which is what I'm going to call that up there, and then they have their normal use bridge, which will be this one here, normal use. Their condition green, whatever Klingons use for uh, alert status, and then of course they have an emergency control bridge, which is back in the secondary drive of the ship. So yeah, but anyways, we'll walk around here. We'll have an area here. These will all have instrument clusters and whatnot through here. Drop down here, same thing on this side over here. All be instrument clusters, and it'll work its way back forward here along this path back up to the bridge, and then of course here's the bridge. Same thing on the starboard side. In these rooms over in here, Klingon bathroom, and then this will probably be like a storeroom, environmental locker sort of a thing for EV suits, whatnot. And if we go over here, this will be access to the Jeffries tube system. Which Jeffries tube system? Yes, Jeffries tube system. Okay, I was getting my turbo lifts and my Jeffries tubes mixed up again. I do that. I'm old, and yeah, we'll just leave it at that. Anyways, but we'll go ahead and go down here to this next level here, and much larger area here. This is more of a systems room. Again, Jeffries tube access right here. Come over this way here. Now we can either go to the starboard or the port, but we'll go over here to the starboard side. And we have a nice large room right here. This can be a crew's quarter. Klingons don't have, in my opinion, I could be wrong, most Klingon quarters don't have their own bathroom. They're a Klingon ship. So they would have to, they'd have a sleeping area, and then if they have to do their Klingon business, they can go to a Klingon bathroom, and something like this here, or perhaps I think I moved it over to here. Yep, Klingon bathroom right here. And then you'd have like an emergency store lockers or damage control locker, emergency supply locker, EVA suits. And then over in here again, you'd have another large area for things. So yeah, let's go ahead and well, I guess I didn't do it. As I walk through the ship, I think I have things done. But what I find out is that every time I go to record a video, I find things aren't done. Isn't that weird? Uh, that's a crease. I don't want that one. But anyways, then we have a larger room up here. That's what I'm looking for. We have a larger room up here. This could be, serve as a ship-based systems room, or can be used for something else. Same thing up here. I'm thinking this one here is more like a conference room because it's really forward of the ship. And then on this side here, it could be whatever, like science and research, things like that. Whatever Klingons like to research, because I don't know. I'm not a Klingon. I have no idea when it comes to what Klingons like to do. What they like to do is what they like to do. You know, they're Klingons. You know, who knows with Klingons? Let's go back up over here and fill in this stuff real quick here. Building with atrocities. Yay! But yeah, it's been a lot of fun working with this ship, and I still have a long ways to go with her. And I'm looking forward to getting down to the nacelle area at some point here in the near future and start fleshing out the nacelle and that area down there because that's the last area I have to work with, and I'm not really. I've been putting it off because it's not a lot of reference material, so I got to kind of make it up as I go. And my brain is old, like obvious, and it's hard for me sometimes to process ideas, so I have to take it slow and easy and let them sort of seep into me, and then I can act on the idea itself. So that's where I'm at. Anyways, these will all be like officers' quarters and things like that. Obviously, this one isn't. This is a Klingon head again, Klingon toilet. And go back through here. All this deck here is just mainly, as you can see it up in the upper left corner there. It's the one of the larger sections of the forward section of the Klingon ship itself. But it has this right here will be one of the elite quarters, I guess, because it'll have its own little private area here. Let's go ahead and fill this in real quick. Again, I think this was a mirrored thing. I didn't mirror it, so yeah. Didn't properly mirror it. That's what I should say here. I didn't properly mirror it. Let's go ahead and do it this way here, and then we can just finish this off like that. Anyways, that's what I'm gonna that's the way I'm gonna leave it. Anyways, that looks good this way. So yeah, it's fun things you always discover when you're recording a video. You'll walk through the ship 100 times and not see anything. The moment you start recording, that's when you start seeing all the flaws. So this is one of my things that I do to find things that I need to fix. I walk through and I see things, and then I make notes and go back and fix these things. But yeah, this one here does have like a little space that could be used as a bathroom. Some of the crew quarters, like the officers, elite crew, what you would call the Klingons, but their more prestigious officers or guests would have quarters with self-contained bathrooms. In my opinion, most quarters would not. So yeah, walk through here again. Most of this stuff you can see in the diagram in the upper left there, but it keeps changing every time I stop moving, which is very annoying. But that's just the way it is. But we'll come through here. Yeah, you can see we're currently following the Exodus. She's up there. We're back here, and over there's the Fearless. So yeah, that was a fun ship to build. That was built right before COVID and throughout COVID. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. I miss those times. I mean, yeah, who doesn't? You know, stuck at home playing block game. Well, everybody else stuck at home playing block game. It was a lot of fun. A lot of fun. I'm saying that sarcastically, of course, so yeah, just bear with me. This will be an engineering section right through here. I left the wall out of these because of these things on the exterior of the ship. I don't really know what these are. I do realize that there's a lot of heat exchangers, so I'm assuming this is like a sensor platform. Same thing back here. These are all related to sensor stuff. These back here are, I have no idea. This stuff up here is more or less armor and whatnot. So yeah, it's just spaceships. What does things do? You got to make it up as you go. I mean, could just be decals for all I know. But I think it's an actual ship system, so I left the walls out so that I can kind of theorize about putting something in here. Same thing with back end here. This is a heat exchanger. This right there here is the back of the ship. This will be a heat exchanger. Basically where, they have to dump their excess heat. And like on the Excelsior class, it's on the neck of the Enterprise. If you think of the Excelsior or the Enterprise B, it's on their neck. And then on the Klingon ships, it would probably be in, like on their outer hull, someplace like those big fin things. Those are probably heat exchangers. And that's the way I marked them up to be anyways. I mean, when I designed that section of the ship back there, the pylon area, I made those tanks and heat exchangers because they can dump the heat into say, a liquid, and then they can cool the liquid by running it through a radiator system into space, because space is, it's really good for cooling things off, from what I understand. But I ain't no rocket scientist. I just pretend to be one on Minecraft. Anyways, another little system room here. And again, I left the roof open because I'm not really sure what this is. Gonna have to do a brain think on this and then figure it out from there. So, but if we walk around, we can see here, this is one of the lower decks, another system room here with those and stuff like that. But yeah, it's been a lot of fun designing the ship. I didn't use any specific sets of plans other than I glanced at the 3 available sets of plans, just kind of figure out where those designers went with their stuff and why. And I can see why they did some of the things they did. A few of the plans have turbo lifts going all over the heck and back in the ship, but it's a Klingon ship. They're not really, about comfort. So I didn't put turbo lifts, going all the way forward out to the both sides of this and that everything. I just kept it as simple as possible. Turbo lift up, down, and back, and then out to the sides of the ship, and make sure there was at least 1 or 2 to the hangar and the engineering section. The rest of it is, like you have stairwells, and then again, of course, you have your Jeffries 2 access points and things like that. So, but yeah, okay, let's go ahead and we can go back up or we can go down. We're gonna. Oh wait a minute. Is this the? Yes. Here's one of the transporters. Little control pod. This is temporary. That's just a temporary thing. And we can step out here and cross over and go into another one. Now, my way of thinking, and I could be wrong, is say a couple of Starfleet guys beam in here with a mission to do harm, and they go out into this hallway here, and I think they turn this way here, or they could go that way. Doesn't really matter. And then just kind of walk around the corner here, doop de doop de doo, doop de doop de doo, and pew pew, pew pew, and then they go back. I'm referencing a scene in Star Trek 6 if you're curious. So yeah, that's my logic. I'm sticking to it. I could be wrong, but because they could easily just come over here and go pew 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 pew, and these are just crew quarters and not ship systems. I don't know. I don't know. Again, who really knows? We're not Klingons, we're just people pretending to know what we're talking about when we build spaceships on block game. Let's go ahead and go down here. And this is the primary deck that leads to gives you the long corridor, I think. Nope, that's the next deck below us. Anyways, this is part of that. This is part of the teardrop section of the ship. As we can see here, walk around. Got a little, I'm not sure really what I'm going to use this for here. Maybe a mess hall extension, because here's an officer's mess hall right here, and then probably junior officers, and then, VIP, who knows. But this is a officer's mess right here, complete with little prep area, and of course, freezer. And the Klingons like their food raw, so that means they have to have fresh stocks of raw food for things. So they do have their own targ uh, pits to raise targs, and of course they have to have food to feed the targ. So yeah, and then they have gawk. They can raise gawk, which I think is just like I said before, some sort of a worm product. So yeah, they can have targs and worms on the spaceship, and I guess the smell is pretty horrific. I would assume that if you boarded a Klingon ship, you'd you'd definitely know there was something smelly on board. And this is just, of course, a systems pass-through. Did this because I think it was CreeperBot has done it, as well as Birchie and others have interlinked their systems and things like that. So I figured, well, if in for a penny, in for a pound, might as well go ahead and do it. I did it with the Enterprise version 3. I put all the electrical connections in that ship, and I tell you, that was I did that mainly because why not? Impeller wanted to have everything interconnected. So, if there was like a battery here, it had a connection that goes to a relay, and then that relay would have a line that went to a ship system, and then that system would have lines that went to other ship systems, and so on and so forth. And eventually, Blue Phobes did some pretty cool things with that. He separated out all the disparate parts of the ship and made images based off of it. And some of those images look just like images you would see in the actual TV show when they're looking at the Enterprise as a top-down view. You see all the power conduits and lines and stuff. And Yeah, we pulled that off pretty cool. I have to say that that was actually unexpected and really cool, and that's one of the reasons why I will always consider the V3 to be currently the best version of the Enterprise in Minecraft. And I do realize that there are other versions being constructed, but whether or not those are ever completed, it really just depends on the time the people that are working on them have to do it. So currently, the V3 is the most complete version. So, and it's by far not fully completed. And it's actually, from my understanding, is Blue was doing a revamp on it anyways when Trekcraft uh, shuttered. So I don't know if that'll ever be finished or not. I honestly don't know. It's something you would probably have to ask Blue folks about. Anyways, this is a major systems room, of course, interlinking power supplies. Now these go all the way back to main engineering. All of this stuff does go back. This is a Jeffries tube, the upper Jeffries tube that you can go along the neck of the ship itself, along this section right through here, all the way back to the drive section. And it does interlock with other ship systems back there. And if you were to remove all the blocks except for those, you would see that they all connect at some point to main engineering, which is important because that's where the fusion reactor is, and the warp core, and the impulse engines, and everything else. Now there are multiple life supports. Even the Klingons are smart enough to realize you need redundancies in that regard. So, yeah, they do have that stuff. All right, let's go ahead and find a stairwell. Go down one more deck. This is the main deck that goes all the way back to the drive hall. And this is a very long walk, and it also passes all the emergency escape pods, which I haven't done yet. That'll probably be something I'll work on next, to pull that section out and work on it. I've been going through standardizing the rooms. This is the standardized pattern that I'm going with. Maroon walls or dark polished black stone, chiseled pelax stone with a lighting grid and just a metal deck. Now, a lot of the rooms in the drive hall are different styles because I was trying to find a fit and feel for the ship. I may not go back through and retrofit those because, they still look good. So I might as well just leave them the way they are. And I'm also lazy. So, yeah, there's that. But, yeah, okay. Basically, it's just more crew quarters along through here and stuff like that up through here. Just quarters is what I'm going to call these anyways. I don't know what they'll be. I left them kind of blank, just quarters. That's what I'm going to consider them. And this will be like the captain's quarters. So again, it'll probably be redesigned because this could also be something else. Could be a, briefing room, or could be related to something else the ship, crew uses it for. Could be a death pit. Who knows? Klingons. We'll figure it out as we go. All right. Let's go on down one more deck here and go on out. Now we're into the windows sections. Yay! Space windows. I love them. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and probably, because we don't have a lot of green blocks in the game. I think we had like 3 that we can use. So I'm probably going to go back through and reskin the hull and make it more along the lines of try to get it as close as I can in appearance to that of the Kronos 1 from Star Trek 6. If not, I'll go for the dark gray-ish look that we see from the motion picture. So, and this right here will be the I would say the damage control and combat backup bridge for the ship because it's in the center of the teardrop. So they'll handle all the ship systems in the event things go offline, and in the event the main bridge or the battle bridge get taken out, they'll be able to control the ship from here as well. And if this gets taken out, then there's another one all the way back on the drive section that they can use. But yeah, it goes around here, and these will probably be, again, mainly crew quarters because of the space windows and whatnot. Am not a fan of space windows, but they do look pretty on a spaceship. This will probably be either a crew quarters or like an office or, briefing room. We've got a space bathroom right here, and get more crew quarters along the side here, and then another little office area right here, or something, and then another little space bathroom back here, because why not? Why not have 3 or 4 space bathrooms per deck, Again, just a little section through here, and then access the turbolift, which goes all the way back to the drive hall, and then of course the Jeffries tube right here. And then we come back out, and I think there's a stairwell right here that goes up. Yeah, we don't want that one. We want this one back here. Oh yeah, and then you go back this way here. There's that system pass through, along with another Jeffrey's tube style thing, and then it comes along the back here. These are all, space. Uh, they're not transporters. They're where you would keep spacesuits for external combat space, EVAs and things like that. Of course, an EVA locker right here, or excuse me, an EVA hatch right here comes out. And there's one on the port side as well, but it's closed currently. It's closed. So, yep. And if we go forward here, uh, there's a stairwell, right? Well, there is a stairwell somewhere along here. Here it is, right here. It goes up to the main deck that goes forward and after the ship. So if we walk our way back up this way here, we can go back into the main teardrop. And eventually, I will probably deck this out for, like top-down view of the deck layout, much like what we did for the Enterprise D. That way there, if you want to just have it to look at, oh, this is the way the deck plans look like on a D7. Very cool, very cool. Anyways, another system room back in here. This is going to be probably life support. I'm thinking life support. There's a little hatch right here that just kind of goes along the back section of the ship, and these will be, just structural stuff. But I figured it'd be kind of cool to have a little access to it there, because those little nicks and nooks are really cool to find to explore. Use every available space if you can. Just you got to make the space count. This little thing right here, and then a large crew mess hall right here. This is for the main crew of the command module, and again, out along the edges here will be probably crew quarters and offices, because Klingons too, they have administrators. They need to, administrate stuff, so why not give them some offices? I don't know. There are windows on the spaceship, so there are rooms here. That's pretty much the way it goes. This is a bulkhead. There are various bulkheads throughout this ship, and then whenever you cross this, it'll be like a bulkhead. So, and we're back to here, and we'll go ahead and so we go down while it goes up. So we gotta come over here to go down. Yeah, we come down through here, another system room here, and then this, of course, is just that Jeffrey's tube access thingy-majiggy. And if we go around this side here, we're just behind the main computer core. This is the server room on board the Klingon ship. I realize these don't look like computers, but it's the closest I can get with the resource packs we currently have. So yeah, this is the Klingon server room. It's one of two on the ship. There's a smaller one in the drive section. And there's this one here. I might have another one, a more smaller one, call it like a scientific, because the Klingons, they don't have a unified computer core like what you would see on the Enterprise D with its positronics or duotronics or whatever it is. The Klingons are more old school when it comes to that kind of technology. A lot of the Klingon technology is war related, so it's very old, proven, redundant, dependable, not real flashy sort of technology. If it worked, 1,000 years ago, it'll work now, sort of a thing. So they don't really advance their technology unless they're forced to do it. Here's the problem I'm having when it comes to like the torpedoes. Now, do I want the torpedoes to be a physical torpedo, or do I want them to be an energy-based torpedo? If they're going to be an energy-based torpedo, then they're going to be like a plasma. They're just going to be a charged particle that's superheated and fired out of the forward torpedo bay and the aft torpedo bay. And right now, I just have these here as markers for like this to fill out the room. These would be torpedo casings. Now these couldn't be the same thing like you would see on a Federation ship. They are torpedo casings, and then they would have to be loaded into the torpedo launcher and fire it that way. But I haven't designed this system yet, and I don't want it to be like you would see on a Starfleet ship, which we've done dozens, multiple times. So I want it to be different. My idea was that it would be like a drum system, like a rotary system, and it would load in and they would fire 6 plasma torpedoes, load out, and another one would load in and it would fire 6 plasma torpedoes. And well, this one was, they would just have like a cylinder for like a revolver, and when they were empty, and then they would bring up new ones and manually load them because the Klingons don't have autoloaders. So they have crewmen, picking up the torpedo or the plasma charge and putting it in. Now, I can't say instead of these being torpedoes, they can be plasma charges. In which case is the torpedo super accelerates them. The launcher accelerates the plasma charge, and because of it being accelerated, it becomes a, you know, plasma torpedo, a energy torpedo, like we saw in the original series. I don't know. I don't know. I'm still looking into all that because there's a lot of reference materials to what those torpedoes were that they were firing in the original series, and we only saw a couple of times, so there's not a lot of details. And then, of course, in the motion picture, they look like standard photon torpedoes, so they could well be photon torpedoes, for all I know. Anyways, we come down one more deck, and or technically at the lowest deck on the ship, which is the torpedo deck, but there's actually a deck below us, which is the sensor pod deck. And I think the only way to access that is, I think I have a ladder or something that goes down to it, along through here somewhere. But yeah, there's one way to get to it, and I just don't remember how to get to it. But yeah, there's one more little section. And actually, we'll just do it the easy way. We'll just drop down here. Here it is right here. There, that's where it's at. There we go. That's the access point. So this will be like a sensor pod. The only way you'd be accessed will be from that Jefferies tube right there. So yeah, that's pretty much the forward section of the ship. And if we jump up here, we can go to the main corridor here, and then this just goes back to the drive section, and most of it's been filled in, as seen I think in a previous video around the time that the TrekCraft server shuttered. And yeah, um, all in all, I think the next thing I'll be working on will be these escape pod things here. This is sort of a mock-up of one because they're a multi-level thing, kind of like a cargo pod that just kind of flips out, and yeah, that's kind of what I'm going to go with, just like a cargo pod thing. But anyways, I do appreciate you taking time to watch, and I'll do another video when I have something else to update you about. Have a great day. Bye-bye.